Hey guys, Jacob Howard here with FPV Unlocked, and today we are looking at cinematic settings for the Gain and Expo on manual mode for your remote controller with the DJI FPV drone. So I did another video on kind of like beginner level rates, and honestly those work pretty well for cinematic, but there's going to be a few other things we're going to change a little bit to make it a little bit better for cinematic flying. Cinematic flying, most of the time you want smooth movements, you want things turning slowly, you want to be able to capture the majesty of things, you don't want to be flipping around, you don't want to be making really fast moves or anything like that. So to really try and change that for these modes, this is what we're going to do. So first off, for center sensitivity, we're going to leave this at 160. We are then going to move over to max rate, and we're going to go to roll, and we're going to turn this down to 250. So this means on the roll, it is going to, if you give it full inflection, so if you turn the roll stick all the way to the right, completely, it is only going to turn so fast. They don't exactly say it in here, but this should mean it's going to turn 250 degrees per second. So earlier it was going to turn at 420 degrees per second, so that's a really fast roll. Right now it's going to turn 250 degrees per second, so that's going to give you about 3 seconds to do 2 whole rolls, which is actually going to be pretty good. You use roll a lot when you turn, and turning obviously is a big part of cinematic movements because you fly to like the top of a mountain or whatever, you're following things, you don't want it moving too fast. Next we're going to come down to pitch, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to turn it down, but we're not going to turn it down as much, simply because with like cinematic flying, you're not doing a whole lot of like pitching forward. The only time you're really going to be using that is you're speeding up. You're not going to be doing front flips, back flips, stuff like that. And there's not a whole lot of like serious changes you'll be doing, like roll, you're going to use roll a ton, whereas pitch, you're mostly going to use that to control your speed. So you don't have to turn this down as low. So I'm just going to turn it down to 300. That way we can quickly accelerate if we want, but it's still slower than the 420. Yaw is going to be just like roll. We want to turn that down. We don't want you yawing too fast because that's going to totally ruin your image. So we're going to turn that to 250. For Expo, we're going to turn this down to 0.25. This is going to make the curve a little bit bigger for Expo. So as you move the roll stick, it's going to take a little bit more percentage of, inflection of moving that stick before it really starts activating on a higher level. So having that lower max rate plus having a lower Expo is going to help give smoother moves as you're going through flying. I'm going to do the same thing with Expo. We still have the faster max rate, but we want to turn down the Expo on the pitch. I'm going to do the same thing with pitch and yaw. And there we go. So center sensitivity is 160 for everything. Max rate is 250 for roll and yaw, and then 300 for pitch. And then Expo is 0.25 for everything. So these will help you get smoother shots while you're out there trying to get cinematic shots. And if you guys have any questions about these, definitely let me know, and have fun flying.